Welcome to my channel. Get ready for a spine-chilling experience as you listen to this horror story before you go to sleep. Turn off the lights, get comfortable, and let the eerie tale unfold. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more thrilling stories. Press like if you enjoy the content and share it with your friends who love a good scare. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story, if you dare. The Weeping Woman. The house stood at the end of a quiet street, its windows dark and hollow, like empty eyes staring into nothingness. It was the perfect home, affordable, spacious, and secluded. Emily had just moved in, eager to start fresh after leaving behind a past she would rather forget. The first few nights were uneventful, filled with the sounds of the house settling and the occasional hoot of an owl. But then, things started to change. It began subtly, a whisper of cold air brushing against her skin in the middle of the night, despite the windows being shut. The feeling of being watched, even when she was alone. The flickering of lights, which she blamed on faulty wiring. And then came the crying. The first time she heard it, she dismissed it as the wind, a low, mournful wail that seeped through the walls, curling around her like icy fingers. But as the nights passed, it grew louder, more distinct. A woman's sobs, muffled and broken, right outside her bedroom door. She would wake up, her heart hammering in her chest, and stare at the door, expecting it to burst open. But nothing ever happened. The crying would continue for hours, then vanish just as the first light of dawn touched the sky. One night, unable to bear it any longer, she steeled herself and walked to the door. She hesitated before pressing her ear against the wood. The crying was clearer now, filled with such sorrow that it made her throat tighten. But there was something else, something just beneath the grief. Desperation. Emily reached for the doorknob, her fingers trembling. The moment she turned it, the crying stopped. The silence was deafening, oppressive. Slowly she opened the door. The hallway was empty, bathed in the dim glow of the street lamp outside. A shape at the end of the hall crouched against the wall. A woman in a tattered white dress, her hair hanging in damp strands over her face. Her shoulders shook as she wept into her hands, her entire form shrouded in an unbearable sadness. Emily's breath hitched. She wanted to turn away, to pretend she hadn't seen anything. But as she took a step back, the woman's head snapped up. Though her eyes were obscured by her hair, Emily could feel them burning into her. A deep, knowing gaze filled with unspeakable agony. And then the woman began to growl. Emily stumbled back into her room, slamming the door shut. Her breath came in short, panicked gasps as she pressed her back against the wood. The crying returned, louder than before, more desperate. The sound of nails scratching against the door sent a chill up her spine. She didn't sleep that night. Morning came, and the presence faded. The air in the house felt heavier, charged with something unseen, yet undeniably real. She needed answers. A trip to the local library revealed the house's grim history. Decades ago, a woman named Margaret had lived there with her husband. Their marriage was a prison, filled with cruelty and pain. One night, after years of suffering, she had tried to escape, but she never made it past the bedroom door. Her husband had strangled her in the very hallway where Emily had seen her. He had buried her body in the backyard before disappearing without a trace. No one ever found him. Emily sat in stunned silence, the weight of the revelation pressing down on her. The weeping woman wasn't a spirit seeking revenge. She was warning her, telling her to leave. That night, as the house plunged into darkness, the crying returned. But this time, it was different, urgent, pleading. Emily had made up her mind. She grabbed her keys, her bags, anything she could carry. As she stepped out into the hallway, she saw her again. Margaret stood motionless, her face hidden behind her hair. And then, for the first time, the crying stopped. Margaret lifted her head. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Only terror. Her eyes darted behind Emily, wide with warning. A breath of hot air ghosted against Emily's neck. A shadow loomed over her. She turned, her pulse a frantic drumbeat in her ears. The darkness at the end of the hallway thickened, twisting into something solid. A presence. Heavy. Malicious. The bedroom door slammed shut behind her. The walls trembled as an unseen force pressed against them. Emily stumbled backward, her vision swimming with fear. Then the whisper came, low, rough, right beside her ear.
Too late.
The lights flickered once before dying completely. The last thing Emily saw was Margaret's ghostly form, her mouth stretched open in a silent scream. And then, darkness. Days later, when the neighbors reported not seeing Emily for a while, the authorities arrived to investigate. They found her car still in the driveway, her belongings untouched, but Emily was nowhere to be found. Inside the house, the air was thick with a suffocating dread. The officers searched every room, every corner, but there was no sign of a struggle, no forced entry, nothing. Then they heard it, a soft, sorrowful cry echoing through the hallway just outside the bedroom door. And so the weeping continued. Thank you for watching and listening to this chilling tale. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. Stay tuned, and remember, don't let the darkness consume you.